Hey there, fellow marketers. Professor Wolters here, and today what we're going to talk about is developing your social media plan. For those of you who don't know what a social media plan is, it's basically your guidelines for running the social media for your business, okay? And the thing is, when you're setting up your social media plan, what you start with is really setting out your goals and objectives for social media in general. What do you want to be online for? Why are you going to be on social media? What do you want to get out of it? Okay. And so when you start thinking about your goals and objectives, make sure that it's not just by itself. Make sure those social media goals are aligning with the overall marketing goals for your company or the brands you're going to be working with, because if you don't, then it can lead to some trouble. You want to have that kind of consistent message on social media as well as with traditional marketing. The thing is if you don't have an objective or goal with your social media, you're really not going to give yourself that focus you need to be truly successful. It's kind of like if you need to know where you're going to go on a destination in order to get there. It's not just like go north. Like, where am I going north? Oh, I'm going to New York. Oh, okay. Now I have an idea what I want to get done. So you want to kind of think of it that way. And once you start thinking about your goals, what you want to get out of it, the next thing you should do is really do an audit of your social media platform or your social media footprint right now. What social media platforms are you currently on? Are you on Facebook? Are you on TikTok? Are you on Instagram? What are the views you have? What's the engagement rate? How many likes are you typically getting? What's the reach that's out there? I mean, how many times do you get an impression on a post? You want to have an idea of where you are today. Okay, so do that social media audit. And we have videos that go over social media audits, so you can check those out to help you out. But you really want to get a basic overall idea of where are we now? Because then with our goals, hey, we can figure out where we want to go. We know we want to start here and we want to get there, but we need to know where we are now. So that's where that audit comes in. Next thing you want to look at is your audience. Who is your audience? You know, think about it, do we have different audiences on different platforms? Right? I mean, if I want to get a younger audience, I'm looking at Instagram, I'm looking at Snapchat, I'm looking at TikTok, these kind of things. If I'm looking for an older demographic, I'm going with Facebook and Twitter, right? If I'm looking for anybody and everybody, everybody's on YouTube. And so I have these different platforms out there based on those audiences. And the thing is, we want to engage with our audience, because the big thing with social media is being social. And that means engaging with your clients, engaging with your potential customers. And so think of it that way. In these platforms, how will I engage? What ways do clients on Twitter like to be engaged versus YouTube versus Instagram, and have an understanding of those audiences? And that's why it's important that you go through the demographics of your platforms you're already on, and you might see that, you know what, we want demographics, we want to reach out to this demographic. You know, we want to reach out to the teenagers to start selling shoes to them, right? Well, we see that right now where Facebook and Twitter, which isn't really getting that audience. Maybe we need to go into a new platform, and that's why you analyze your audience. What are they using? Not just who's using you and your platforms, but the audience you want to be with, what are they using? So you have an understanding of that. And that's why it's really important that you're really open with your audience to have them share. If you find out that, actually, they like to hear about deals on their Twitter feeds, well, maybe you share deals on your Twitter feeds. That's why it's really important to have that engagement going back and forth to learn from your audience. And so once we have an idea of these audiences, then we can really evaluate which platforms we should be on and what we should be doing on each one of those platforms, because you may make different content based on the platform you're on. Obviously with YouTube, you're making videos. With Instagram, you've got pictures, but we could also do infographics. With IGTV, we could do videos and stuff. With Facebook, there's different stuff we might do. And so what we want to do is we really want to assess these different platforms. So you might look at in terms of number of views on that platform. I mean, you have to be on Facebook because it's so big, right? So you have to have that. But then also you might look at the characteristics of that social media platform. Oh, TikTok has a much younger audience. If we want to go for them, we might want to go there. And so you kind of start evaluating the different platforms. And what's interesting is it's not just doing Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, things like that. You might actually see that your audience, there's actually a niche social media platform that is just for that group. You could have it where there is a social media platform that's just for specific travelers, or there's one that's just for people that love cigars, or the ones that just like model trains and stuff like that. Because what you want to do is really figure out the justification and reasoning why you should use each one of your platforms. Because one of the mistakes I see people make is they think they need to be on every single social media platform, and that ends up spreading them too thin. What you need to do is focus on the social media platforms that reach out best to your clients and your potential clients. That's where you should be. Not on everything out there, because it goes into the jack of all trades, master of nothing. It might help you to focus just on 3 or 4 or 2 or 3 of them. Some people only focus on one social media platform, but you have to think about what's going to work best for you and reaching out to your audience. And so once you figure out the platforms you're going to use, now we really have to look at is what we're going to do on each one of those platforms. Okay, so Twitter is us answering quick questions from our clients. YouTube is the how-to videos of how to put together our products. Facebook is where we share happy customers, pictures and stuff like that. You literally lay it out what you're going to be doing on each one of these platforms, because your social media plan is not just going to be used by you, it's going to be used by everybody that's using social media in your business. And so if you're not there that day, someone else can post things that fit with your brand and how your online brand is being seen. And another thing is, when you're looking at your platforms, you're on your social media plan, you're also going to list what you're going to do. Like, what pictures do you like, or what posts do you like? What do you retweet? What do you share, right? Because, how many times you see people that put, oh, retweets are not endorsements. You might want to look at it and say, who do we share from? And that's one of the things, if you look at your content strategy and your curation strategy, these are other videos, and these actually go in here. You put in your content strategy, like, what's the kind of stuff we're going to make, who we're going to make it for, what's the actually physical content that's going to happen, and curation is the stuff we're sharing from other people. You are going to list that in your social media plan. Now, that's way too much for me to go in this video, because this is a basic, so watch that video to get more information, but kind of think about that, like the content you're going to make, then also the target group for each one of those platforms. Who am I going to be going for? And you might have multiple different groups you're targeting in a platform, so you're going to make content that's targeting each one of those different platforms or each one of those different audiences. So once you figured out the content and all that kind of stuff that you want to be making for the platforms, the next thing you're going to do with your social media plan is look at your social media scheduling. What is your calendar going to look like? When are you going to be posting? What days of the week? What time of the day? On which platforms? And what you'll do is you'll look at your analytics and see, when are more people on? Like, I'm going to post my travel videos at 7 a.m. on a Saturday, because 7 a.m. on a Saturday, people start researching their next trips, right? And so I put that out at that time, and I schedule it that way. But when do we put our blogs out? Oh, we put out blogs out every day, because people read their stuff at work. They'll read blogs during work. I mean, you get in trouble watching videos at work, but a blog can just be on the side, just kind of click it over. And so we do that. And the thing is, when you're making your social media schedule, part of it is like when we're going to post things and what time of day and who's going to do it. And you're going to be assigning those responsibilities, but also you need to think about the scheduling in terms of, when do we make this in order to have videos or have posts for this later date. So if I'm making, for example, I'm here in a beach town in Georgia, right? And I could film a beach video today, but it's the end of the beach season. So am I filming a beach video for this year when beach season's over, or am I saving that content for later? And you want to think about that. Like, hey, how do I use all this stuff so it actually fits? And so that's why when you look at your scheduling, it's not just your posts, it's also the schedule for creating the content that goes there. And the thing is, when you're setting up your social media plan, don't just assume that it's going to be fine. Once you start putting posts out there and you're starting to see, is this social media plan working? Is it not working? How do I change things? Because that's what's great about social media. You can try a lot of different things and see what works, because what works for one platform might not work on another. For example, for us, our YouTube videos work great 7 a.m. on a Saturday, but our Facebook videos, oh no, they do better at 5 o'clock at night on Friday, which is actually the deadest time for our YouTube videos. Kind of crazy, right? And so you use that analytics and you start to learn about your social media plan and if it's working or not, and you make adjustments to it. And the thing is when you're making this social media plan, it gives you that direction that what you should be doing. You're kind of telling everybody what we're going to be doing with our social media and what we need to be looking for, the kind of content we're going to have, when we're going to do it, who we're going to be targeting. And the thing is it's not always easy to run your social media successfully. And the thing is, one of the mistakes I see a lot of companies do with their social media is they kind of assign it to someone else. Like, oh, hey, you're the new person here. You do the social media. You're young. You know how that social media stuff works. You do that. Well, here's the thing. If your job is paid to sell doors, you're going to make sure you're doing all the doors. And they say, oh, could you do social media on the side? Well, I want to make sure I sell all the doors I can to make my money, and then I'll do the social media. And if you put it on the side, it's not going to be a success. It needs to be front and center. You need to pay people to put the money into it to get social media to work. And we have videos on return on investment on social media and stuff like that, which is really kind of difficult to kind of factor in, because how much is it worth that people feel like they're a part of a community because of your social media? Like, how much is that worth? It can be tough to really, quantify. And so that's one of the things that sometimes there are issues with social media plans, because people are like, well, what's the benefit of this? Well, what's the benefit of people liking our products more and having a community? And when they do buy from us. That's one of the issues you might look at. But overall, I hope this helps you know how to kind of get a breakdown of how to make your own social media plan so you have it out there. So in short, set out your objectives, look at your audience, look at the platforms you're on, do an audit of what you're doing, see what platforms you should be on, the content you're going to create for those platforms, and who you're going to target with that, and then set up your schedule for doing that, and then analyze and control for what's working and what's not working so you can be a better success online. All right, so I hope that helps you out. I wish you all the best. Bye.